Oh, let's start that again with the microphone on, shall we? Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight for our Wednesday night live. First one back for a while.
Yes.
So we figured we would just see if we can introduce these Wednesday nights back into you slowly.
Yes. So, as Barry mentioned, thank you for joining us and welcome to our channel. Tonight we'll be sharing a casual card with the Little Monkey stamp set. So I'll be doing some quick coloring as we have the online coloring masterclass with the Little Monkey coming up on the 27th of June. Yes, I nearly said April.
So yes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks yesterday.
Yes, so the online coloring masterclass is normally a step up from block coloring, and you can practice with me live or catch the replay. And we also offer the online coloring masterclass membership, so you get you get 6 months membership for the price of 5, and you'll be put into a private Facebook group where you get more content. So last month I did the color masterclass with Beside Me, and I shared how to create 2 cards with that. But I'll be sharing some more soon with different things.
Yes, so that's good. So we've got a few of you that have popped in. Obviously, we've been away from a Wednesday for a little while, so obviously not very many. This is a bit of an impromptu thing for us tonight, wasn't it? So let's shall we, shan't we? So we'll say hi to a few of you that have joined us already. Do please share this video out just to let people know that we're trying to come back on a Wednesday night as well. I think we're going to try and do this again now on a more regular basis, aren't we? So
we should do.
He's smirking. So we should do. So yes, do please share this out with some people. Let your friends know that we are back on for a Wednesday evening, and we'll start obviously mentioning it as well on our Sundays.
But the live draw we will only be doing on Sundays.
Yes, with live draws Sundays only.
Cool.
So good. So let's say hi to a few of you that are in. So we've got Margaret that has joined us. We've got Beverly, Donna, and we've got Pat, the Bling Bling Craft. Tongue-tied there, Bling Bling Crafter. We have Linda, Alice, Dawn, and Janet so far. So thank you all so much for joining us. Looks like there's a few of you that are watching maybe that haven't popped a comment in, but do please say hi. And we will try our best to keep up with the comments. So either me or Jay will have a little look, and we'll talk back to you and have a little bit of fun along the way. Hopefully,
yes,
we normally do.
Cool.
So good. So I'm going to hand you over to Jay. Jay is going to be doing tonight's demonstration once again, and yes. So I hope you enjoy what he has got in store for you this evening. So let's go. Eyes down. Sound like a bingo caller. Ooh. Eyes down. Pens at the ready. And
amazing.
Go. There we go.
So yes, my marker is can be seen. Let's move that over. So yes, Little Monkey cute stamp set. It does come as a bundle with the Little Monkey Builder Punch, so it does cut out this image easily. You also got the banana there, or the full banana, the open banana. You have the fussy cut, and you can build your own monkey because you have the face to match onto there. But as I mentioned, this is gonna be a casual card, so slightly step up from Symbol, and I'll be blogging it with as part of the Casually Crafting Design Team blog hop, which is on Saturday. I thought I'll kill 2 birds in 1 stone, do a live for a sketch challenge, and also Stampin' Up is currently doing a creative challenge on Instagram and Facebook, I believe, and it's all about the Natural Tones Stampin Blends. So if you have any of the natural tones, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 different sets. I'll just get them all out just to show you. These are all the natural tones, from deep, medium, medium, deep, and then you have light, medium light, and the medium. So it's all different natural tones. If you have any of them, and if you create any projects with using one, at least one, I guess, and just tag Creative Challenge as you, and Stampin' Up official page might put you on their story, so that's quite nice. So yeah, so have a think of what you're gonna do with those, but I'll be using that, and because this image is got a punch, I will just use that for this evening. I might do some of this one because that's easy to cut or fussy cut. So I've got basic white. I prefer coloring with Stampin' Blends using basic white card. I don't find that the ink doesn't spread out too quickly, but it is longer to kind of like blend it in a bit more. And when you're using blends, always use Memento, and do try to wait for the ink to dry, because sometimes it's still can bleed if it's still slightly wet. So I'm just gonna stamp this a couple of times. If you find that your image isn't clear, you could also use a pierce mat or foam underneath, just because it is a photopolymer. It's slightly not as squishy as the red rubber, because red rubbers normally have a foam in between the block and the stamp. That's fine. So I will ink up a couple of this one as well, and I'll just do these. So who has got this one, this stamp set? One, two, three, four, maybe five. There you go. So I'll only be coloring one, and as I said, it's just quick block coloring. I've got my blends chart here, so that's all of the different natural tones. I have created another card with the 100, 200, and 300, and I pre-colored a 400 one. So I'll probably go with the 500, just so it's different tone. No, I'll go with 400 because it's still slightly dark. So 400, where are we? There. So just quickly, I haven't done it for a while, and I tend to use the bullet tip just because sometimes the brush tip gets furry quickly, but if you are wanting to blend it in, or have large areas that you want to color quickly, use the brush tip. It has got this one is still okay, so but I tend to use the bullet tip, and sometimes I prefer using the bullet tip. Now you may also notice that sometimes the brush tip and the bullet tip does have different tones. I welcome that. I just think that for the combo you get 4 different tones. I think it's and it's actually good for blending. You just need to make sure that, like, before you start coloring, or just have a scrap piece of paper or another basic white, and just use that to check what tones they are. So for example, this one, that's my bullet tip and that's my brush tip. So the same barrel, and it's actually, the barrel is all across, but I think it just depends on how fast the alcohol gets into one end, and because it's got different areas, it might might affect it. I don't know the science of it, but it just is. But as I said, you have two different tones that you can actually blend together as well, and it's better for blending. So some people don't like it, but you get 4 tones in one, or you could get 4 tones in one combo. Not like other kind of like brands where you have to buy loads of different colors. You know it's the same barrel of colors, so you know it will be it will blend together. So kind of like the light and dark. So sometimes, for example, if you have old olive, light and dark, sometimes the light can be quite close to the dark, and I think it just depends on the inks or the color and how it is created. So it could be close in color, but again, it's you know that it works together and it will blend well with each other. So block coloring, literally just coloring it in. Now in this one I use ivory. It works, but again in the natural tones you do have the 1000, which is the lightest. So I'm just gonna color that in. I'm going to use the bullet tip for this one. This one has got a slight pink tint to it, so because I would say these colors were done with flesh tones in mind. So this is the lightest one. You can see I haven't kind of like, there's a few areas that's gone over the lines, but do pay attention to those. And also what I find is if you are using thick basic white, it does spread out a lot quicker. So again, if you find that you're going outside the line a lot, just practice in a scrap piece, and then kind of like take note of which area, because sometimes if you go over the line and you keep that pen nib there for a while, or keep going over it, it will spread out, the ink will spread out. So you just need to know when to stop, or kind of like how far away from the line you need to stop. Most of the time it doesn't affect it, it's just sometimes it does, depending on how juicy your ink or your pen is. So that was just I'm not gonna color that. So I'll color this one. So I have lemon lime twist, and I'll just double check my light and dark, because sometimes I do prefer mixing my colors to have different contrast. But for this one, because it's only gonna be quick coloring or block coloring, I'm just going to do the lemon lime twist combo. So quite bright, but I do like it. So I've just turned it upside down. I just find it's easier for the flow or for my stroke. Who else have we got? Hi Julie, hello Janet. We also have Sandra, hello, and Vicky, hey. So I'm just gonna quickly color the bottom. Again, I've just gone over it. So that was the dark, and I'm just gonna bring in the light. So there's not much difference, but you can see that it is kind of like darker on one end. Once it's dried, you can go over and add another layer, and it creates a darker tone. It doesn't take long, especially with the hot weather. So you can see now that that's a lot more darker than before. if you go over it while it's still wet, it's just gonna blend in and bleed into the color underneath. So keep that in mind. Normally, I would say, so that's a lovely coloring already. But normally I would add a third color just to make the contrast a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more contrast because I do like my coloring that way. But I'm just gonna quickly do these 5 the same way. But if you don't have a lot of blends, that's how you can add more color or more shading. It's just keep adding it when it's dry. So I'll just do the 3. And with the online coloring masterclass, I do go over each image or section. If it's got a lot of section, slowly, and hopefully I explain it well so everyone can follow along. I know that a couple of you here that's a member are watching now, so hopefully you can vouch for me when I say that I that I go through it slowly and you can follow along quite well. I would really appreciate that. There you go. So I'll just go over it with the dark again. So that's already got 3. That's got 2. That's got 2. I don't know how many that's got. Did I do the top one down? Right, so it's Barry's turn to
What?
Can you fussy cut these leaves?
Okay.
Just in time.
Between doing dinner.
He was doing dinner. So I'm just gonna cut this off using the punch or punch it out, so I can start building my card. And I'm actually needing that bit there. So that's another thing, Alice, because like if you work quite slowly and you wait for it to dry, that's when it doesn't blend. So if you want it to blend, you do need to work quickly. So, but if you're just practicing, just keep that in mind. So I'm just gonna do some of this. So I'm gonna create my own kind of like background, just those ones, using what we got. So I want kind of like wood colors. So again, it's mostly the dark. So I'm gonna keep it medium. So 600 and 500, which is lighter than 400. Maybe I'd still want a bit lighter. So I'll go with 800. Okay, 800, 800, 800. Okay. And I'm just gonna do lines. With the casually crafting, we're not allowed to use what you call it, die cutting machine. So you can emboss, of course, with stylus, with your paper trimmer, but it'll just be straight line. So I just want kind of like this to have a wood plank effect. It's straight, it doesn't matter. And that's going 700, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7. Where's my 7? But I will be tearing this up anyway. But I just want kind of like my background to have something on there. I'm not gonna do wood knots because I can't. That's fine, and I'm just gonna go over it with 800 again. 800, where are you? On some areas, because obviously again, if you add a second layer, it will be darker. Right. So I've got that, I'll be tearing it up.
Are you wanting all of these?
Yes, please, because I don't actually know what I'm doing yet. So that I'm gonna cut that off. I just want a couple of planks. It doesn't matter if it hits those darker lines. I'll make it 4. I won't make it odd. Okay, just because it won't. You're right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. No, yeah, I'll make it 4. So yes, so the idea of the casually crafting is for newbies or new to paper crafting, card making, that don't have much in their stash. So if I'm just gonna do that, right, I'm gonna start sticking this down in a minute because our iPad is going and it might cut off.
It should be alright.
It's 3%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it is going.
Right. All done?
Yep.
Cool. So that's done. I do have do I have another piece of basic white card? Can you just cut me a bit?
What do you want?
Just half or a quarter, thank you. So which one did I do? That one, wasn't it? So one is up there, and then I need, so I'm just going to try and follow the sketch for that one. And also I'm going to add another element to it, so which is the bow punch. So you kind of like saw me do that. I will color punch images as well. So I'm just gonna punch off a couple of these. Now I find it easier to color die cuts or punch images after it's already been cut, just because you know where you need to go. I've just got scrap piece of paper. Again, I'm going to use the Natural Tones. So I've used 800, 700, 1400. So to have a different contrast, I might do darker. So I've done 8, 7, so I can have 600, 500. That looks quite dark, doesn't it? 600, 500. Okay, I'll see how dark it is with one. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with 500. So the lower the number, the darker it is. So quickly coloring that in. I'm using the brush tip just so it's faster. Now there might be some white left, but I can always go back in. And I'm literally just doing big strokes just to fill it in, not to concerned about keeping to each leaves. Now this punch has actually got a coordinating stamp now, which you can do as well. But of course I wanted to use the natural tones for the challenge, so I couldn't. Do not use your Stampin' Blends with your stamps. It won't work. It'll just stain it. Okay. We still get questions about it, so I just wanted to repeat that. So if I do that, so it's quite similar. So that's fine. I might make it a bit darker. You're right, Barry. So 200, 100. So I probably just need a couple more. This is 200. So it's a lot darker. Any comments?
Lots of people say hi.
Hi Sue. Hi Connie. This is the 100. So the combo is 100, 200, 300, 400, and it goes up like that. It looks like coffee beans. Ooh. And yeah, so the stamp set, sorry, is the layering leaves. So stamp it first and then punch it, and it's got those two as well, which is quite nice, I think, anyway. There we go. So yeah, so even though it's natural tones, ideal for flesh colors, you can just use it for anything really. You can use what's it called, sepia effect for your card making. Right, we'll do darker tops and lighter, or darker stems. I wanted it that way, but that's fine. We'll just go with it. What is the time? Okay. I told Barry, yeah, I'll just do it really quickly. Yeah. We've been talking. So who's got any blends? Hopefully most of you have, but I know some people still don't have them.
Janet M was on, as I mentioned earlier on, saying she was lucky enough to buy the Natural Tones when they were on special.
Oh.
So she uses them a lot, so good, Janet.
Cool. Yes, so share your project on Instagram if you have Instagram, and tag Creative Challenge SU. I think that is the correct tag. Maybe Barry can double check, or I can double check quickly. And that will alert Stampin' Up, and they can share your project on their story. At the end of the month, I believe, they share it. Right, that's done. 200.
Is this for this Stampin' Up Simple Stamping?
No, Creative Challenge. So yeah, Simple Stamping is a different challenge for Stampin' Up.
Is that on the weekly updates as well?
It should be on the Instagram of Stampin' Up. I can quickly... I've only got two hands. I can't look on my phone. Right, I like doing this with the bow punch leaves, just using the side, not the open blade, just the side of the paper snips to just shape it. That's a lot lighter, but we'll go with it. There you go. You found it?
My phone's taken ages to load because I'm off of work.
Alright. Let us whatchamacallit? Where is it? what is the create? Yeah, it's Creative Challenge SU. Okay, so I'm going to just create this card. I will need to stamp my sentiment later on. So fit this in. It doesn't really matter. You can use, of course, you can use DSP. I just thought I do like making my own background, but there are some lovely DSP. I looked at the Earthen Elegance DSP as well. That looks nice. There's some textured prints on there, and there's some like deep regal or natural tones on there as well. Okay, I do want it in the middle ish, but that's fine. It's slightly left sided. So I'm gonna have you on top. Sook is on the prow. So because I don't know my kind of like, oh, I'm quite far down, how I'm gonna build up the stamps elements at the back, I just added one so I can actually add more if I need to. So I'm just gonna follow the and then this one will go underneath, and because it's torn, I don't mind adding extra texture to it, because why not? And you can always cut up those, and again you can do the trick with the paper snips with this one. The other leaves in the little monkey set, it's lovely, but it's it's a bit harder to whatchamacallit, to fussy cut, just because it's got loads of pointed end bits. End bits, you know what I mean. Leaves, yeah, pointed, pointed, not pointed. Okay, that's not gonna work there. And I'm just, yeah, I'm just squinting and looking at what works, following the casually crafting sketch. Okay, I do want that smaller. And building up my card, and I haven't used any die cut. I have used a punch, but that's allowed, so that's good. It's darker, that one underneath. Hi, Jackie. Okay. I put him way to the right, too much, but that's fine. I can work with it. Who else craft like me? Do you work from a sketch, or do you have something in mind? I normally just a sketch is helpful as a starting point, and I normally have either a technique that I want to try, or kind of like a vague idea of what I want to do, but I've never got something set in mind, if that makes sense. And I just, that's why some of my friends always kind of like say, well, why don't you just put on the camera and then do like video or self-crafting? And I was like, because it won't work, because I'll be forever changing it, because I don't know the end point. I always kind of like go back and look at it, if that makes sense. And just think, oh, what else can I add, or what else does it need? Okay, I've got one more. I need 3 points, so I'll probably cut this down and put you in. Ah, yes, that works.
Janice says your design looks great. I don't use sketches. I just dive in and hope for the best.
I do find if I don't use sketches, I tend to use the same layout. So sometimes I like using sketches just to kind of like add a bit of freshness to my creations. If that makes... Ooh, that's blobby, and that's too close together, so I'm just gonna take that off and move that around.
Linda's asked, did you show the sketch you were working with?
No, I haven't yet. I don't know if I'm allowed just yet,
sure you can.
because the blog hop is not until Saturday.
I'm sure you can.
I will show it to you at the end.
Don't tell anybody.
But if you want to see more inspiration, do check out the blog hop. It'll go live on Saturday. There we go. That's done. I do have. Sometimes I just can't leave it alone. If it's cut, I want to use it. That's fine. And then we can just add the sentiment. Now the sentiment in the little monkey, it's quite cute, but there's not much. There's only 3. Like I'm bananas about you. Just swing by to say hi. Little monkey. I guess little monkey is appropriate. Ooh, how did I have it there? Another set that I like is the Best Family Ever, because it's got small ones and you can then personalize it to whoever you can send it to. But for tonight I'll do thanks, congratulations, wonderful. I'll just do thanks, because it's kind of like, it's quite nice. It's Father's Day is coming up. I guess thanks, you could always just say thank you. But it's quite a cute card, good for kids as well. Right. And sorry, I want it slightly out so my thanks can just stay there. We can heat emboss. I know it's casual, so that's fine. I'll just get my heat embossing quickly. Again, just to have some like contrast for the browns that's there. And it's not that big. Right, quickly. I'm racing against not time. Charge. There you go. Okay. I'll get this up. And right, I'll just heat emboss that. So, cover your ears now. Luckily, I stamped it straight on the bottom there. Or you could always just embrace the wonk. I will, okay, we'll wonk it now. Wonk it. There. Something small, and then finally, we're just gonna have that so it looks like it's coming out. So I do want you there, slightly further down. That's gonna get added on with dimensional. Take a picture. That's what it means. My hand gesture.